Yes. Well, according to Shifty on social media this week, it might be game over with Alien Earth, but has his opinions changed since then? We're going to have to find out later on in this episode of the Alien Earth Roundtable. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the Alien Earth Roundtable. We're talking about episode 5, the flashback episode, the precursor, everything that happened on the ship we got to witness this week on Alien Earth.
Almost.
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 Almost. So I should emphasize almost. So we the usual suspects are here tonight. Except for one, although maybe it'll be more seamless this week. Who knows? Well, we're gonna have to see as we go along here. But we do have the usual suspects. I'm going to let everybody go around the panel, tell everybody where they can find themselves at. We'll start with Anzo, Big Ford Entertainment. Where can they find you at, sir?
Just as the name says, guys, Big Ford Entertainment. Doing a little Saturday show over there with Brian. I think it's pretty cool. Hope you check that out. Doing the Chaos Central stuff with Danny and my almost boy Chris Knight. But yeah, we're doing that stuff over there. So come check us out.
Very good, very good. Next up, we got Danny Graham, sir, of The Road to Wisdom. Where can they find you at?
You find me on my channel on Mondays and Fridays, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always try to upload a video, talk about a little bit of spirituality. Also, I got another channel where I only upload shorts. It's called The Way I See It. On that channel, anything goes. Anything that perturbs me or I have an issue with, I usually put on there usually about a minute to 2 minutes shorts. And I like it. I have a lot more freedom on there, what I want to say. Also, you can find me on the OOC. Also, you can find me here on this channel doing the Roundtable. Storms Live on Sundays at 8 and the Hangout Wednesdays at 8. So a little bit of here, a little bit there, a little bit. And Mondays, first 3 Mondays of the month, going to Chaos Central.
Very good. Very good, very good. Good stuff. We got Shifty. Where can they find you at, sir?
You can find me Thursday nights about 8:30 p.m. on Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective and Vinny Art for the Collectible Pass Toy Show. 3 hours talking about toys from the 60s all the way up to today. And Sunday nights, you can find me on the panel.
Well, so much for that.
Whatever. Huh?
You chipped out, that's why. You chipped out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the weekly wrap up on Sunday nights at whenever it goes live, 8 o'clock, I think, 9 o'clock. I don't know. I don't know. But when it goes live, hey, get in the chat and you can play some games. We play What the Dub and we play Jackbox. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And there's stuff I'm planning here and there for later on. But that's about it. You can find me on X and Twitter too, or YouTube. Yeah. I'm not doing as much stuff as Danny.
Gotcha. And then you can just find me on my channel, and I'm on everybody else's channels. Everyone's links are in the description. Jeremy, good to see you, man. It's been a while. All right, now we got all the pleasantries out of the way. Let's get into why we're really here, and that's to discuss the Alien Earth episode 5. We're going to go into overall thoughts. I'm going to start with Anzo. Anzo, your overall thoughts on episode 5.
Overall thoughts is it was a really good episode. It's exactly what I wanted to see. Now, I do say this. I think they should have kind of mixed it in with episode 1. That way we wouldn't have that boring 30 minutes of the beginning of the show. But I think they did a good job. I liked it. We got to see what happened on the ship, which is what I was hoping for, and I enjoyed it. It felt like a mini Alien movie in this series, so good job on that.
All right. Very good. Danny, overall thoughts?
I'm going to echo a lot of what Anzo said. To me, this was the best episode of the series so far. I really enjoyed it. For those individuals that like action, it was very action-packed. I know there may be some nitpicks and stuff, but for the most part, the biggest thing it made me do, I was leaning one way. how I felt about a character, and now it gave me a little bit of cause for pause, and now I get a little understanding on why the motivation of a particular character. So it's definitely good writing to me, um, and I enjoy it. I'm definitely very interested in seeing the last three. You learn something different about the creatures. So to me, this story is going in the right direction. I don't think it's too fast. I don't think it's too slow. I'm very pleased with the pacing. So overall, I think it was a very good episode. Like I said, to me, the best of the series so far.
All right, very good, very good. Um, okay, Shifty. What is your overall thoughts?
Well, first, big news, breaking news. Just yesterday, Fede Alvarez was interviewed on some red carpet for something. Of course, he's director for Alien Romulus. He revealed that he is not directing the sequel to Alien Romulus, which was supposed to start production like in October, which is it's really weird. Like he originally wanted to wait 7 years for a sequel, and Fox and Disney's like, no, that's not happening. You're doing it now, and I think that was part of the reasons why he dropped out. Of course, he's never did a sequel anyway. He didn't do a sequel to Evil Dead, and even his own film Don't Breathe, he didn't do the sequel to that either. So, but he is producing along with Ridley Scott, and they said they're going to find a new director. So this will continue the tradition of most Alien films having a new director outside of Ridley Scott, because Ridley Scott's the only one that's done more than one Alien film. So,
Why do you think that is? Because Romulus wasn't well received?
No, I just think it's because Fede said that he wanted like 7 years between this and the sequel, and there was no way that was going to happen. So, but I think it's safe to assume that it's not going to be out next August like originally intended. I think they'll probably push the production back to the first of the year. It just depends on how fast they can get a director, because they, like I said, they were supposed to start filming next month. So we'll have to see what's going on. I thought this episode. Well, when I first watched it Tuesday, I did not care for a lot of what happens towards the end, and I was really put off by it. And seeing some of the reactions throughout the week, kind of made me kind of like it less. I think it was a mixed bag. A good portion of it was fine, but certain elements, like I said, towards the end, pull it down hard. But I did rewatch it earlier tonight, and once again, it played better on a second watch, especially once I knew what was coming. I still don't care what they do there in the climax. I got issues with it, but my main one may be those, like I said, overpraising it, much like Romulus as being a masterpiece. Like I people actually throwing that word out. I've seen multiple people, and I don't know where they're getting this. They called it the best episode of any show they've seen in the last 10 years, which reinforces my belief that Twitter isn't always a real place. And I think, what you're seeing may be bots or shills that are just like, or people that hasn't really watched a lot of stuff, and they're just saying that. And I don't know. Like what you like, but if that's the best TV you've seen in a decade, you really need to watch more TV, because I don't know. I don't.
Twisted Metal episode 11 was better than this episode for real.
So,
it's not the best. It's good, but it's not the best.
Yeah, but I'll get into what I didn't like about it later on. But yeah, that's about it.
Well, wait. You said, let me make sure I get this right now. You said if this is the best television show that you've seen, then you haven't been watching.
No.
People are saying it.
Yeah, there's certain people on Twitter that's been saying that, and that reinforces my belief that a lot of people out there that are just now getting into Alien, or they haven't seen the old stuff, or they just haven't experienced science fiction horror, and they mostly watch superhero films or something, or they're not even real people. They're like bots or something, because there's no way this one episode television is better than anything in the last 10 years. I don't get that.
Okay. Okay. I agree to say, because you think that the sun rises. No. You think the sun rises and sets on that Star Wars mess, and I could care less about that.
Well, I mean,
yeah, Donnie, 100%.
Well, no, not season 2. Like I did have issues with season 2.
I'm just saying. All I heard for a while was Andor.
Season-
The best TV, best thing on TV, Roundtable best.
Season one. During the time it was on, it was, and during around that period, it was the best. First season, that was great. It was great.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
I am not. No. What you saying now sounds. But you act like it was from the Holy Grail. That
It
was
was at the
that it,
time.
that
Yeah.
it was inside the ark along with.
Oh, it. Yeah, the
Yeah,
first season.
yeah.
The first season. Yeah, it was
That's
great.
why I wish Chris was here now.
The
Well, Chris-
nighttime sniffly, sneezing, coffee,
No,
sniffy head,
Chris-
so I can sleep.
Chris would agree with me. Chris
That's
would
what
actually agree
Andor
with me.
You
Okay.
need to sleep, watch Andor.
No.
You'll go right to bed.
I'm doing straight.
You hear
What Daddy doing?
I agree. Andor was not very good. Anyway, going back to Alien Earth here, guys. I don't know how we got from Alien to Andor. Well, I guess
Well,
we
it does.
started
It does
there,
air
right?
on. It does air on Disney Plus, so that's how we got there.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. So my overall thoughts on Alien Earth Episode 5 was it was pretty good. I liked it. Again, better than Peacemaker this week, which again, that's going to be a recurring theme probably.
Actually, Peacemaker wasn't bad this week.
No, it wasn't, but I'd still rather watch this than Peacemaker, to be honest.
Peacemaker still has issues.
Yeah.
Still has issues.
But I will say the third episode wasn't bad, just, like, eh.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to believe it.
Well,
Anything with John Cena is not good. So I mean,
No, stop that. John Cena's getting better. He's really good. As an actor, he's really good. John Cena's getting better. With every project he takes, he's getting better as an actor.
okay.
I agree with that. I mean, I have it. So going back to Alien Earth real quick, it was there were things in it that I liked. There's a lot that I liked here. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It's not like peak TV like I think a lot of people are saying, but like I said, I'll go into more of my positives and my negatives because that's just my overall thoughts, and I want to keep it brief, basic, and I'm just gonna say I liked it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Indeed it does. All right, we're going to start with positives, and we'll start with Shifty. Shifty, your positives.
First and foremost, the Colonial Marines tease with the Smashing Pumpkins song choice at the end was brilliant. Morrow's he's like, you better bring more of the lawyers, and then they play that drum beat, and it's the same drum beat that you hear the Marines and aliens when they're getting their gear together. It's like, and it kicks in with the music. They're going to bring some firepower next week, because if you think about it, he's probably told her that he's probably gave her the recording that he found on the ship with Cavaliers. So that's like an act of war right there. Him messing around and telling yo, because Cavalier just basically set up 9/11. What he did right there. So they're gonna go get back their weapons of mass destruction and with the Marines next week. So that'll be neat. But I mean, next week's gonna be crazy if you watch the trailer and keep that in mind that the Marines are probably coming. I mean, God, a lot of stuff's going to happen this week. As far as the main strong points, Babu Sise is absolutely killing it as Moro. I don't. We're so far out from the Emmy nominations for next year. We're past the due date for this year because the Emmys are like this month. But if people remember him next year, I think he may get a nomination because, wow, he's doing a great job. Also, the sets look so goddamn good, like right out of the first film for the most part. In some scenes, almost to a fault, though, as they laid into certain environmental callbacks, like the chain room and that spotlight shot, which were settings for notable kills in the first film. I think those were too much on the nose, but still, like if I ever bought a house and redid it, I'd put up white Nostromo paddling through the hallways and stuff because it just looks so darn cool, man. Like I'd have a Nostromo room, a Death Star room, a Scarface room with the sunset wallpaper, and a Hobbit kitchen. That's what my house would look like. The eyeball was cool. I still don't know if it's good or bad. Like, was it warning the doctor, or was it distracting her? We still not clear about that. Stuff went on in the end. You could take it either way. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. I think that they say the eyeball monster is going to figure heavily into the series. So yeah, maybe we'll find out before this season's over if it can really communicate and stuff like that. It's going to be neat to find out. Morrow's flashback with his daughter was really nice touch, especially when you take into account Ripley. She only signed up for 2 years, and she thought she was going to get to see her daughter, or she signed up for like 3 years like that, and she wound up in the same situation. She was stuck out there for 57 years, and her daughter died while she was out there. So she's in a similar situation as Mora was, but she didn't think she was going to be. Yeah, that was really neat. I like I said, I like it better this afternoon rewatching it than I did Tuesday night because it was just a lot of weird shit happened, and I'll get into my dislikes. But what they do right, it's pretty good. I don't think it's great, but I do like it.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Danny, overall positives or positives.
I think the whole show, um, really, the writing because before this episode, I was dead set against Morrow. I thought he just evil incarnate, but now I kind of see his motivation. I kind of see what got him thinking like he's thinking. Uh, this this episode really cemented my dislike for Cavalier. Like I said, the writing is to me is excellent because I did not know who the saboteur was. The way that Mara was breaking it down, and I didn't know the motivation behind the saboteur. But then when we saw who it was, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's making sense." And he knew the whole time, and he's just he's just that evil presence, man. He truly is evil. Um, One thing this episode did do is, like I said earlier in the roundtable, that I really didn't care about these these characters in the first episode because we didn't see enough of it. But now you kind of get attached to them, especially to the female captain. How Morrow did her and didn't let her in. The young boy that had the leeches in him. So you kind of learn a little bit more about each character on there, except the ones that didn't ever get out of the cryo tubes. And you kind of, to me, it kind of gave you a little bit of backstory, and you kind of was a little bit invested in them. You saw how stupid they were and how scared they were and that kind of stuff. Like because the doctor, they was a complete idiot. She eating in there all that kind of stuff and all kind of crazy stuff. It showed that the eye spider, or that's what I'm gonna call it, Oculus, whatever they call it. Um, it doesn't seem to be evil. It seems to be, based on what we've seen, maybe the natural enemy of the xenomorph, and it looked like it was actually trying to warn the doctor about, hey, we'll see what this thing is doing. So we learned more about at least three of the creatures. Those leeches, they aren't all dumb. They kind of reason get itself out of that tube. It laid the eggs in the water. So these things aren't just feral. They seem to have somewhat intelligence to them. It's making me also think like, what are these other two creatures that we hadn't even seen? I think if I'm not mistaken, on the preview for next week, we see one of those flying things, like it made a nest in the corner of the ship or something.
Hmm.
One of those flying things. So maybe they're going to reveal what this flying thing is. And I am really, really curious about that plant thing. So are those going to be even worse than what we've seen already? But like I said, the positives to me are is so many. I'm really, really invested in the show. I hope what I heard is going to happen next season. I mean, next episode don't happen. That's probably going to be on my only really negative. Other than that, man, I really thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Um, I thought the pace was on point. I really didn't care about how the xenomorph move, and I see what Anzo and shit you were talking about. But that's not enough to. That's really a nitpick. That's not nothing to be like, But other than that, man, a very solid episode.
All right, Danny, me and you are not gonna have it on here tonight. All right, you're not gonna call my concerns a nitpick. All right, we're
No,
not
no, no,
doing that. No, I'm
no, no.
joking. I'm joking. No, you're right. It's a nitpick. It's a nitpick. 100%. It's a nitpick.
But other than that, man, I like I said, I really enjoyed it. I said it backstage. I'll say it here now. Be the best episode of the series so far. I hope the other three don't let us down.
Agreed.
Agreed. All right, Anzo, positive.
So for me, my positives are first off, like Danny said, you get a lot of backstory to Morrow, right? And I think some of the characters on that ship, I think, are more interested than some of the characters that we've been following already. So I would have liked to see more with that. Um, I liked the eyeball because now you got a little. Oh, is the eyeball good? Is it trying to warn her? I think it was trying to warn her because when we watched it back again, it really looked like it. I thought at first it was like maybe it's distracting her, but no, I think it was trying to warn her. Now, I don't think the eyeball is necessarily good per se, but I do think that it may be a natural enemy to the xenomorph, right? Because at the end where it goes into the guy's eye, it pretty much calls the xenomorph, but then attacks the xenomorph, right? So I'm like, okay. So it seems to me like maybe it's against the xenomorph. Now, we did also talk about, I think we did it on my stream where it was like, oh, can that eyeball go inside of the xenomorph, right? And it looked like it tried to do it, but it didn't succeed. Now, I don't know if if it's longer, that stays on there longer, it's able to bore into the xenomorph, or maybe the xenomorphs just don't have the eyes like we suspected, you know? So I
Well,
thought that, yeah.
under the dome, you could see it, in the first Alien, kind of, because a lot of the toys, they have a clearer dome, and there's like a human skull
I,
underneath.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's just got to get underneath that dome. That's like a hard dome. So yeah, he was biting though. He was trying to get to that dome.
100%. And it was like the xenomorph was kind of like scared of it, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
it kind of ran for a bit. So that's kind of interesting to see where they go with that. I'm also, and I think these are all my negatives, but I'll wait for the negatives for that. But I also like the fact that they are showing these other creatures. My only issue is, again, like I said, is I'm more invested in the other creatures than I am in a xenomorph right now,
yeah.
right? I want to know more about the eyeball. I want to know more about those little leech things or whatever they are, and then the other ones we haven't seen. So I think it's good that they do put other creatures in it, but I think it's kind of taken away from the alien part of the show, you know? So I think they need to like kind of wrap that up and then stick to maybe the xenomorph stuff for the final 3 episodes. But yeah, I thought it was really good. Like Danny said, I do think it's the best episode of the season so far, and I can't wait to see what they do going forward.
Okay, very good, very good. Um, so my overall positives is going to be a lot of things that you guys already said, but fuck it, we're doing it live. So I will say the biggest positive, like kind of like what Anzo said, the eyeball, seeing the eyeball, like almost like it even like showing a lot more layers to like the eyeball, like as like now I guess you could call it a character, even though it's like a thing. But like showing like it's not so much like just this mindless thing, like it's something that has more of a almost like a wherewithal of its surroundings and not like and doing what the eyeball did and like going into that one guy's body and like attacking the xenomorph and warning the doctor like of like, oh, the leech is coming out. Like I'm really liking the overall layers there, and like seeing how like the leeches were working and like seeing it like spread like its fluids to that.
No, it's eggs. The
Oh,
eggs in the water. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then like you see them like in the digestive tract going into like the vital systems and then causing like this poisonous gas to or like erupt. I was like, holy shit, that was interesting. And like even like seeing the xenomorph like move around in the ship, I thought was, because I think it's something that like I'll get into my negatives, but like I like seeing like the first person view because like it's something that they introduced in Alien 3, and I always keep thinking like, okay, like I like the idea, but I want to see them perfect it, and I think over these last few movies, like them doing the first person thing a little more, I think they've gotten to a point where it's very very cool, and it's like seeing the alien stalk like somebody and like killing someone from the vents up top. I thought that's always something really nifty. Morrow, I think Morrow definitely is coming into his own more as a character. I think he's been one of the standouts of the show, and I think this was his episode. I think giving Morrow a lot more layer as a character, and again, it's going to come back down to layers, right? Like them expanding on a lot of these things that they've already introduced. I thought was really really cool, and and like I think Shifty or somebody said it best, like you kind of have that like you call back with Aliens where Ripley's daughter, like she died while Ripley was in cryosleep for all that time, but it's a different scenario where his daughter died very young because there was a fire, like she died at 19, but it's still kind of like that same parallel there.
And what's funny too, I asked on my show, like, do you think that Whalen or someone had anything to do with the fact that her house was on fire and she died, right? Maybe we'll find out that they had something to do with that. So I thought that was very interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, we might see more from that, but who knows? But I do agree that was very interesting. And what else? Again, like what Shifty said, I think the visuals were on point. At least like I like the ship aesthetic. Again, like I think that's the one thing I think Alien has for the most part been consistent about is like from like a ship standpoint, the set just looks good. And I do appreciate like even though it does look a little goofy at points, I do like that they're using more practical effects for the alien and not for the xenomorph and not the not going CGI. I mean, I get it's a show and I get that there's not gonna be a lot of budget behind it, but it's still something to appreciate though. I just personally prefer practical over CGI any day. What else? I guess like a couple of the characters were a lot. Like I think I'm with Anzo. There was a few couple characters here that I preferred more than the characters we've been seeing. There's the doctor lady, and then there's like the oh god, I don't even remember their names, but I'll just say that the characters were a lot more likable than some of the side characters we've been seeing over the last number of episodes. So there you go. Do I have anything else? I don't think. I mean, I think what everybody said. Like it does feel kind of like a mini Alien movie to an extent, but I found it very interesting because when you saw like the first episode. Oh wait, there is stuff, but I'll get into that in a sec. But in the first episode where you see like you don't see a whole lot, like you kind of get that inkling of oh my god, like the xenomorph did all this, like it caused all this chaos and destruction. But then once you like watch this episode, it's like wow, like I like that all these other creatures are getting a little bit of time to shine. So I thought that was cool. And then, of course, Boy Kavanaugh being revealed as like, oh, I sabotaged the ship to get all these creatures. That was actually a really brilliant twist, like Danny said, because it was almost like it's in hindsight, it is kind of predictable, but here I thought it was just well done because the writing was extremely solid all throughout. And I did like the ending sequence with Moro and Utani being like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna kill Boy Kavanaugh," um, which I think that's gonna set up something really interesting.
Absolutely. And the only thing I'll say too is, okay, so I agree with you guys. I love the fact that, we find out that it was Boy Kavanaugh that was behind the ship crashing and everything like that. I just think that when they revealed who it was, like, we didn't know this guy, you know what I mean? Like, I've never seen that guy before. So it didn't really, like, oh, like, I didn't care about this. I know, I guess it wasn't part of the plot, but I didn't really care about the guy that was doing the sabotage. He's like, oh, I'm doing it because of what happened to my wife, but we don't sit with him. We don't know anything about him. So to me, I just didn't care about him, to be honest with you. That's the only thing.
You know what? To comment on that, Anzo, I think that guy was more of a means to an end. I think like he wasn't. I don't think he was intended to be like a oh my god. I think he was more like a red herring almost, where I think he was more there to be the lead in to reveal that Boy Kavanaugh was like the I'm the one that's like doing this.
Yeah.
But
No, I
I
get that.
but I do agree with you though that the guy was not very memorable,
Yeah.
which might have been the point maybe.
Probably was, but I'm just saying, usually when, they do something like that where somebody's sabotaging something, you sit with it for a while, you get to know the players, and then it's like, oh, he's the one that's doing it. But I guess they didn't have enough time for all of that, so I get it.
Yeah, it's possible. Jeremy says we need a Predator show. Maybe I could see that happening at some point. Getting to that dome. Yeah, yes, we love the dome. All right.
Do we need a Predator show, though?
I mean, I think it could be interesting if like they did something like an anthology series, kind of like that animated movie.
Yeah.
I think a Predator would be good if they was to show us the history. If you on YouTube, they got some kind of name like the Yakuza, Yachu, whatever they call themselves.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if they was to go back and show like the home world, maybe about how they're born, how they made, how they train, that kind of stuff, that would be interesting. Right now, we kind of seeing the back end of the Predator. If they was go back and see what makes the Predator tick, the relationship between the Predator and the Xenomorphs and their hunting and to show the different clans and stuff, that I think that would be interesting. I'd rather see that on a weekly show than see it in a movie. I don't want to go see a movie. I want to see kind of like when you watch a new show, kind of like let's just say, and I'm just using this because I know I was like Lost. You start from the front and it shows everything you in it, and then if they could connect it to either Prey or connect it to the first Predator or Predator Two, show like okay, the reason why I'm going to Danny Glover because this is a jungle, blah blah blah. The reason why I'm going to Arnold Schwarzenegger world because this died. The reason why I'm going to the Indian, I think that would be cool to see that, but I don't want to see a movie and because you're gonna have to have like a 3 hour movie. I don't know if a Predator 3 hour movie would attract people if it goes back that deep. But if you do like we often I heard people say in the back like a 21 episode season, I would want to see that. But that's just
See,
me.
I know I'm gonna have a problem with that new Predator movie coming out because I don't really want to follow the Predator and learn about the Predator. Like, I just want to see it kill people. That's it. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope it's done well. Maybe it changed my mind, but right now I'm not really feeling it.
I tell you what I want to see. Yeah, I didn't even think about this before, and I saw somebody post a picture on Twitter. It was a predator standing on top of a pyramid. And I was like, oh my god, that would be a great setting. Ancient Egypt with predators. That would be cool.
Hmm.
a Predator dressed up as a pharaoh would be very interesting.
Because as much as I like the original Star Wars,
Hmm.
I really enjoyed the prequels because I see what Anakin came from to Darth Vader. We seen a little bit even with that railroad wreck that was the acolyte. We see a little bit of Yoda. We see in the animations kind of Yoda's when he was a younger person. We saw with him fight Count Dooku, that kind of stuff. So I like getting the backstory to some stuff if they make it interesting because I don't want to see like the prequels. We saw Yoda at the end. We saw how strong he was. That he lifted the X-wing out the swamp, but we didn't see him at Prime Yoda. So when we see him at Prime Yoda, Prime Luke, Prime Mace, whatever your favorite Sith or Jedi as it relates to this, I want to see Prime Xenomorph. What makes the Queen? What makes this? What does that? The Predator. What makes the Predator a part of this clan? That kind of stuff interests me. Is what I'm saying.
It's funny too you said that because I remember we were talking about it and we talked about how does a queen get made, and then there's a little interview I think I told you guys yesterday. But the interview with one of the showrunners, he was like he wants to explore how a queen is made because I don't think they have a definite answer to how queens come around. So I
Well,
think
they
that
were.
would be interesting. What?
They were with the third prequel film that didn't get made. So it really says he may make it, but we don't know. It was going to lead to the crash on LV-426, and the ship we see in the first Alien, it was going to give birth to the first Queen, but that movie never got made. So who knows now?
It had
Yeah.
to be a queen because how did they
Yeah,
get made from the start? So the first
yeah.
one had to be a queen. So what?
It was going to all come from what David had been experimenting on, and it was going to lead to the ship
So,
crash. And
so what's confused about the xenomorph? When I go back and see some of it's like it's in the dirt or something, ain't it? Or because like one thing kind of went through the guy's neck and his pores and skin. So it's too confusing. I don't.
Oh, you're talking about the
Yeah,
Prometheus one?
Prometheus like did it
Yeah.
go through his neck or his skin pores or something like
oh
that?
well,
Or
that what that was, it was
Was
just a
the
worm. It
yeah.
was a worm that was crawling around, and he got infected by the goo, and it turned
Yeah.
into like a monster snake like thing. That was totally unrelated to the xenomorph.
Yeah.
no, but I thought I thought they did a flashback on this show,
Oh,
and they're showing how they went to a planet and something crawling the neck or something. I thought maybe I saw something, but I don't know. But it's kind of like if you watch what's the thing with Kevin Bacon now?
tremors.
Tremors?
Trimmers. Each trimmer, the the thing ev- um, e- um evolution. It did something first
Yeah,
crawl
yeah.
underground, and then one of them was flying, and one of them was shooting stuff out the butt and all kind of crazy stuff. So each movie they evolved to a different form of the creature. So that to
Well,
me
they
that what seems like what a xenomorph is doing when I look at the Prometheus and the one where the guy where Fassbender was like laying the eggs out of his mouth and that kind of crazy stuff. See that all that kind of stuff lost me. So
Yeah, that was Covenant, I believe. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, that was the end of the Covenant. Yeah,
See, I don't.
that's how. That's how he was going to get the queen.
But you
He
know
was
what's
going to
funny? Oh, sorry. Go
what?
ahead, Shifty.
No,
No, I
no,
was just
go
gonna
ahead.
say.
No,
No,
go
because
ahead.
I'm thinking like we hear that they're retconning Prometheus and Covenant, but I'm also hearing that they're not actually like they're still sticking to a few things from those shows. It's
Well,
weird. Like,
this is the thing. I it seems like well, we knew that there was a Predator timeline and there's an Alien timeline, because in the Predator timeline, AVP exists because they had their backstory where they had the eggs way back in ancient civilization and they were bringing them to Earth and stuff to do the hunts and stuff. In the Alien timeline, David creates the xenomorph, so it's two separate things, and it seems like because the creator of the show doesn't want to acknowledge the prequels, because he said he didn't want the xenomorphs to be something that was just created like yesterday, something
man,
that
yeah, yeah.
that was created like thousands of years ago. that this may be secretly in the Predator timeline and leading towards the next movie coming out next month. So it may pull a Thunderbolt sort of like New Avengers type kind of twist to where we think it's one thing but it's another. It's definitely confusing. But I can't point this out. I just thought of something that we saw earlier in the show that points to a couple of things. Morrow said that they got the eggs from a distant moon, and I looked up LV426 on one of the fan site Wikipedia's. That I thought that was a planet, but no, it's actually a moon. So they went to the ship probably and got the eggs. Now this is the link. We saw that laser beam that was going over the eggs in like the second episode. That's the same laser beam like protective cover that was in Aliens. So that ties back to the first film. So they went there and they left that beam in that ship. And you go back and watch Alien, and that it's there. So this ties back to that ship. This show does.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now let us get into our negatives. I'll start with Danny, since I think Danny, you said you didn't. I don't think you had a lot of negatives, so I'll start with you, sir.
The rumor I'm hearing, I don't know how true this is that there may be a synthetic pregnancy going on. This may be possibly a xenomorph or the spider thing may lay eggs in there. I don't know. I don't even want to even go down that rabbit hole with her being pregnant. I don't care about that character. I don't think it's needed in this particular story. So if that's what they're gonna do, I may change my mind once I've seen the end product. Right now, that don't interest me. I think they get enough storylines, different storylines, enough variety that they don't need to add this extra thing on it. But we shall see. Other than that, like I said, I'm not a fan of that particular character. Um, Based on the previews that we saw, it looks like the doctor that has concerns like he's going to get a face hugger put on his face looks like it. And again, I think we saw the nest in the top of the electrical room with the thing flying inside of it. So I don't know what we're going to see, but I don't think any of the other children besides Wendy and her brother are very necessary to move the story along. Maybe the Indian guy that Morrow's trying to manipulate, those three, but the rest of them aren't really needed. If you take them out of the story, it doesn't detract from the story at all. So that's really my nitpick, my negative about this whole thing. The other three kids, unless they really write them in the story, they don't seem to be needed at all.
Well, this is a multi-year show supposedly, so they
Yeah.
gotta keep them around. Some of them.
Well, I got enough with the brother, Wendy, and Indian guy, and Kirsch. To me, that's interesting. I'm really interested in Kirsch, and then I'm really thinking that Cavalier, man, he is close to getting the body he wants, synthetic body he wants, and he's going to use this alien technology that I guess to try to maybe graft it into that body so he have additional powers or skills or whatever. That's what I think he's trying to do. That's what I think the end is going to be. He's trying to find what he can. He's going to build his perfect body, kind of like how Ultron was building Vision. I think he's trying to build his version of Vision and then download his personality and memories and all that stuff into it.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Is that all you got, Danny?
Yes, sir.
All right. Very good. Very good. Anzo, negatives.
Yeah, so I got a few negatives. Like I said, I told you the one about the way the xenomorph was moving, but also plot devices, right? So first off, we talked about it when
Yeah, a plot devices. Yeah.
What's that, Danny?
I say, yeah, I agree with you about the plot devices. Some
Yeah,
of them are very, very convenient.
100%. Because like Danny said, we talked about the other day. You're going into that room with the aliens, and you're trying to get it out of this guy's body, and nobody has on a mask or anything.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, really? Like, you don't have no kind of hazmatic suit. Then you have the girl, she's just willy nilly drinking in front of these creatures, not paying attention. You know what I
And
mean?
if you go back to the first Alien film when they're trying to get the face hugger off of Kane, they've got the full medical gear on. They got the masks on and everything. They got gloves. Yeah.
And then, not to mention that, Anzo, all we saw was the thing you just pulled up to tick off the thing off, but now it got a fart gas that is, yeah, no.
100%.
They should have just pulled them off and be able to get, but now it farted, and the fart is radioactive and all kind of crazy crap.
Right. So it's like, okay, so the xenomorphs have the, acid blood. Those little worms have the fart gas, right? What does the plant have, right? What does the eye have? It seems like they all have this like kind of defense mechanism that it's weird. It was weird. I found that really weird, And then there's another scene too, right? Like we find out that the face hugger, is on the captain because that's how everything starts. And the black girl, she just willy-nilly goes back and starts, oh, let me examine these guys and I'm going to feed them. And I'm like, wait a minute. There's a higher priority right now than to even be messing with the creatures, right? Then she takes the damn, after the eyeball tries to warn her, she puts it up there and she doesn't even check to see if it was secured in there. You know what I mean? Like, I just found a lot of those plot devices, I found them really, really, really bad. I thought you could have done those things a lot better. So those are basically the negatives that I have personally.
They could have said, and it was kind of thin too, Anzo, but I definitely agree with what you said. You remember in the last Jurassic Park how that candy bar wrapper just kind of followed that guy?
Yeah. And then went right into the door and everything happened.
They could have at least done something like that, because once I put that thing in that little lock canister, I'm going to see green. If I don't see green, I ain't walking away. So they could have said, okay, the ship had a glitch or something, but they didn't even do that. Like,
and it showed green, but it wasn't really locked, right? And as she walks away, it unlocks or some crap like that.
So you mean to tell me the Oculus spot can tell the difference between green and red, and then start trying? So yeah, I 1000% agree with you with some of these plot devices. Was very convenient.
Well, he's always watching from that canister. So if he was sitting on the table and she had put something up like in the past, and he can maybe tell that the color changes on it. But still, how would he know that the color was not changed when he's up there? Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not intelligent, but okay.
They just need to find a way to get to A to B, right? Yeah. And then they use that.
Yeah. Especially that farting. Like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
You've been on the ship for this fucker for 60-something years. You ain't seen that fart yet.
Facts. Now, and you know what's funny? Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Danny. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying now, the fart kills you. To me, that's crazy.
and you know what else is funny too, right? Shit, I lost my train of thought now. It had something to do, I believe, with the eyeball.
And the thing, like pissing in the water.
That's it. So I knew 100% that when it did that, I knew she wasn't going to be the one to drink the water. But the guy puts hot sauce on his food and conveniently just grabs her drink and drinks it. Like, who does that? You know what I mean? I'm not sitting at a table and I'm grabbing Daddy's drink because
you should have had your own drink.
He did. Yeah. He did. He brought a drink to the table.
Yeah, and then drank hers. Like, that was dumb. You know what I mean? Like, again, plot devices. So as much as I liked the episode, I think there was a lot of that in it that kind of drops my rating down a bit, but it's still good. Still good episode.
Okay. Fair enough. Shifty. How about we'll do your negatives next, sir?
Well, first thing Danny mentioned, the Oculus might could be the natural enemy of the xenomorph. I don't think that could be, because we know about exactly what's going on LB-426. So if they got the eggs from there, that's like the only thing there. We would have saw the eyeball before. So maybe the eyeball saw the xenomorph when it killed the other people on the ship, because they said they had. Like attacks from the Xenos before when they were trying to capture them in the past. So maybe the eyeball saw that stuff in the past. Um, that's something else they need to show us. Maybe next season they'll start off with something really cool to where we get the back story of the eyeball, to where we see how it was captured and stuff. Like that would be really cool. I think that would eat up the budget though. The Xeno, man, the way it was, I think the problem with we mentioned about how it uh, how it moved around and how it looked like a man in a suit, which really annoyed me to no end. I think that part of the problem is how it was shot, because you never saw like the full body shot of the alien in the first films. It was like quick
Mm-hmm.
shots, like, and it's
Mm-hmm.
mostly on the head. They should have just zoomed in and not show him doing his little dance, his little shimmy.
Agreed. Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah, girl, I'm coming for you," and he did. Yeah, it looked weird, and plus her being able to outrun him. No, like I said, the ending shit with the Xeno looking too much like a man in a suit and him fighting the eyeball man. I think that was a little bit too much cheese for me to process that first night I watched it, because I was really negative about it. I'm still not a fan of exactly what they did, because I think it went way too over the top. Um, but the CG alien running through the halls, that was intercut between all that stuff, that was really cool. Um, I I like I said, the homegirl outrunning him, just no. But also one of my major complaints of the episode, besides all the plot devices like you mentioned, uh, I didn't like that girl as an actor, Zafari or whoever it was. I thought she was a pretty bad actor. I think she was wooden. I think she had a resting bitch face for most of the episode. I think she was a low rent casting in just in terms of all the other actors on the show. Are they're really great, and I think she stands out like a sore thumb. Just I didn't care for her, and I think I didn't care for her in the first episode. She was kind of, I just didn't like her, and I now that we given her more time, she didn't improve. I didn't didn't like it. Um, Cheesy, it just got cheesy toward the end. I mean, the eyeball taking over the dude, that's cool, and I hope we see more of that. But at the same time, it's it was a little too over the top, especially with him running up on the table and jumping on Alien. And I like how he was biting them and stuff, but at the same time, that's not my Alien. It's just it's more AVP stuff, right?
Yeah,
And it's
he bite that and pierce the skin. What happens? The acid comes out
yeah.
and kills it anyways. You know.
Yeah, it was more AV. See, this is why I think it's in the Predator universe, because that's more AVP style action. But then again, in Covenant, we had robots kung fu fighting. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to tell you there. But yeah, like it was. I was really with it for most of the episode outside of the plot devices until the end, and that just sunk my rating. Uh, well, it did Tuesday. I've kicked it back up a little bit, but I don't know. Don't know.
Okay. Was that all shifty or
Yeah.
okay? Um, yeah, most of my issues with the episode were pretty much the plot devices. I will say real quick, I do kind of agree. I think some of the movement that Alien has does kind of did look a lot like a guy in a costume at points, which again I appreciate that compared to CGI, but there were just it did look a little noticeable, at least during those portions. And like the plot devices, like I'll even bring up this one. I don't think you guys brought this up. Um, what's up, Moira? Good to see you.
Hello.
But you have the worms like in the thing, right? And then you couldn't fucking hear the thing open up.
Yeah.
Like that was
Yeah.
just
Hmm.
really weird. And of course you have the guy who's drinking the water, and it's like what the fuck? Like that was just way too stupid and goofy. And there were just a few things here that was just kind of I mean, it wasn't like anything that was like, oh my god, like it was so bad that it made the episode like, oh my god, this is trash. But it was just like noticeable things, and then like even like Shifty said, like when the guy was like pounced on the xenomorph's back, right? Like you start biting it, okay, but once you puncture it, like it's gonna be acid. So what the hell? So unless it didn't puncture it,
Well, I
I
don't think he knew that, but still, that's just I don't know. It's like I said, it's AVP action in my Alien, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
but it's still goofy though a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a little goofy.
But that being said, though, like there really wasn't a whole lot to it that was like, oh my god, that was bad, but it was just more goofy than anything.
Agreed.
Uh, okay, I think that's all my negatives. Honestly, we'll go on our final thoughts and grades. I'll start with Anzo. Final thoughts and grades, sir.
Yeah,
And
this episode's definitely gonna get a B from me. Like I said, I thought it was good, other than the little plot devices and stuff like that. But other than that, I think it's on a good path for an Alien show, and I can't wait to see what they do for the next 3 episodes. Now, as for predictions, I think it's going to go the route where I don't want it to go, where it seems like Wendy is going to be like the so-called queen to the alien, and it's gonna listen to her, and I think she's gonna find out something where she's gonna try and go against Boy Cavalier, and I just don't like that plot of it if that's where it's going. So I think that's going to be a big issue for me if that's where they're going with it. But yeah, B plus and good episode.
good stuff. Good stuff. Danny, final thoughts and grades, sir.
I can't give it an A plus. I would definitely give it an A minus because it has some plot devices, and even though it didn't show what I have issue with the series, the implications in the new episode, I'm not a fan of those kids at all, other than the three that I mentioned. Like I said earlier, I believe that Marvel is trying to replicate or trying to develop the the perfect human, perfect body that holds his consciousness. I think me and Alonzo and Brian talked about this earlier that he may be battling some kind of illness where he may be losing some of his intelligence or maybe his health is going down and he's trying to like beat the clock. That's what I think he's trying to do. He got some sinister plan. I'm not sure what it is, but the only thing that makes sense to me is he's trying to, like I said, come with the perfect body, making sure they don't have any kind of glitches or anything. So when he does transfer his essence, he won't have to worry about future problems or issues and kind of work out all the bugs. But definitely, this is an A minus episode to me, most definitely. And I too look forward to the next few episodes and hope that they don't drop the ball.
Same.
Agreed. Shifty, final thoughts, grades, and predictions, sir.
Uh, like it was low to after Tuesday night. But I'm up to like maybe a C plus, and if I rewatch it again, maybe it'll go higher. I just I'm gonna wait till the whole thing's over with. I'll go back. Um, as far as predictions go, here's a long term prediction. Uh, since we know that aliens can survive the vacuum of space, supposedly they shot one of the cryo tubes out that had the face hugger in it. So that's a potential loose thread there that they could go. I don't know if they'll do that because it's kind of basically kind of what happened with Romulus, how they found the Xeno out in the space like that. But there's a cryotube out there with a face hugger and maybe a body with a xenomorph in it just floating out there in space. So who knows if they'll ever pick back up on that. The next episode, I think it's going to reveal the fly creature that may be a Xeno variant, because it was teased in one of the early trailers last winter. We saw it flying a ship when the ship was crashing to Earth, and you saw it in the window. And then in this week's ad for the next episode, which is titled Fly, so I mean it's got to feature that creature. We see a little xenomorph like chilling out in the wild, and we see him in the cave. So from what we can tell, the preview is seemingly running around in the wild since the crash, and it may or may not tie in with the doll baby head on the beach that we saw in the last episode, how it began. I don't think we've got any confirmation. Oh, here comes cops. And the scuba squad of soldiers entering the cave off the beach, that may be all tied into one storyline there with the creature. Also, we got the Marine tease at the end of this episode, supposedly with the drum beats there. 3 episodes left. I don't think this will be tied up nicely in a bow, because they said they want this to be FX's Game of Thrones multi-seasons. I still think Nibs. I think she's going to end up killing the male doctor. I like it's Danny said. I hope she's not pregnant. I don't see how that could possibly be, unless it's like some sort of psychic, like remnant from the Oculus when it was trying to attack her. Because after she was attacked, she was like all like looking in the mirror and poking her eyeball in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
So she's having maybe some flashbacks. I don't know. And it could be, I don't know the sequence of events, but she may be having a psychic link to the sheep that the eyeball's currently in. The sheep may be pregnant, and she's feeling that. So that may be, I don't know. We'll have to see. They have the synopsis up for episode 7. I'm not going to reveal it because it's way too spoilerish. It's way too. Don't look that up. But I do think that Kirsch and Joe and some of the kids are going to go off on their own at some point, because I think that he's like, me and Anzo had this discussion on Twitter. I think him and the female doctor are the only people that's on the kid's side. I don't think Boy Cavalier, of course, Boy Cavalier doesn't have the best interests for them. So I think they're going to break off at some point. And if you tie Morrow and Wayland or Utani into it, they may flip sides at some point. I don't know. But last but not least, with the word that the eyeball creature will figure heavily into the series, I think it may end up merging with Cavalier. We think Cavalier wants to, get him a synth body, but I think the twist is the eyeball is going to end up in Cavalier, and I could see them doing that with Joe or with Joe, either Joe or Cavalier to mirror Wendy's hybrid dynamic. They may do that with Joe, but to have an alien take over a high-ranking position on Earth, that's way too much of a draw, because I mean the eyeball would be the most powerful person on the planet, like if he got into Cavaliers. So that's something interesting to think about.
I said that on my show. I said I think the eyeball's going to go into Cavalier.
Yeah.
I think that's where to go with that. Interesting.
It's possible. I think I'm going to agree with Danny. I think I'm going to give this episode an A-. I thought this was very good. Probably the strongest episode so far. I mean, despite its minor issues, I didn't really have a whole lot of issues with it. As far as predictions go, again, I'm just here for the ride, but I could definitely see the eye going into Boy Cavalier would be interesting. I don't see. I don't know. I'm just gonna let everything play out. I think that's my prediction. Is everything. I hope everything plays out well.
Yeah, me too.
The weird thing about it is, like, we've got so many interesting plot lines. Like, it seems like Wendy in the Xenomorph is like taking the back seat now. Like, I don't really even care about her and her brother now.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Agreed.
compared to everything else that's going on.
Yeah, I agree. I'm concerned about what's going on with Cavalier and Kirsch and all of them. I think that's more entertaining than the Wendy stuff.
Agreed. I'm also more interested in the other aliens than I am in the xenomorph.
Me
Yeah,
too.
and like we don't know exactly if the fly comes from that pod or not because I don't think they can because we saw the fly in one of those containment units in this episode, and then we saw a whole bunch of the pods, the with the snake thing coming out of it. So those are two different creatures. So we still don't know what's in those pods, those great big
Hmm.
pods. Yeah, I can't wait to find out what's in those things.
Okay. Indeed, indeed, indeed. All right, well, gentlemen, we're about over an hour in. Probably, I think the shortest episode we've done here so far. But
Yes, hallelujah.
I wonder
I
why.
wonder why.
It was civilized. I don't think no voices got elevated.
no,
No,
No
no,
profanity. Wow.
no, no interrupting.
very
Shifty,
well.
wait, hold on, wait.
You said this. How dare you say that?
We love you, Chris. We're just joking.
I ain't joking. I'm serious.
Neither am I.
Now, hold on. You said here in frame 6 that this was what was at 48 seconds that this was going to happen, but you were wrong. But now you say you don't like it. So what's going on here? Like,
No.
oh man.
Like it, got love for you, but boy, you make some topics longer and tougher than it gotta be. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
I still maintain what I said last week about those two things. Even though, see, the people out there don't know, but I made two picture graphics to explain what I thought went down, and I posted in the
Yeah,
group.
they didn't help.
You
They
guys
didn't
just don't
help. I
have
looked at him.
you
I looked
you
at
guys
him.
don't you don't have an open mind.
No, we don't want our man open and ripped
In
up like
shiftyism land, for real.
not good.
God damn
All right,
it. Okay,
people.
Austin.
Yes, sir. We're gonna close this out. I'm gonna let everybody go around the panel one more time. Let everybody know what they can find themselves at. We'll start with Shifty. Where can they find you at, sir?
Thursdays 8:30. Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective and Benny Art, the Collectible Past Toy Show, and then Sunday nights at 8:30, I think, for the weekly wrap up. Jackbox Games. What the Dub? Get in the chat. You can play. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. That's it.
Okay. Very good, very good. Well, Danny, where can we find you at, sir?
You can find me on my channel, The Road to Wisdoms, which usually come out on Monday and Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also have a secondary channel where I only do shorts. It's called The Way I See It. Also, on the first 2 Mondays of the month, usually do a show on Chaos Central involving me, Chris Knight, and Anzo. Also, on Wednesdays, I'll stream an alternator on the Hangout. And on Sundays, you can find me on Storms Live, where we talk about a little bit of everything. And of course, 3 more weeks, I'll be right here on Saturday nights with these gentlemen talking about Alien Earth.
Well, hey, after Alien Earth, we were thinking about doing a review on Starship Troopers since that's so like alien-like. If you want in on that, just
Talking about the
just set it
first
up.
Starship Troopers?
Yeah, the good one, you know.
Yeah. Is anybody besides me watching Strange New Worlds?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't. I didn't continue down there. I didn't continue. But yeah, you can count me out for the Starship Troopers. I hate that movie.
Oh,
Not a fan of it.
I know you're gonna do a roundtable on the zombie thing on Mazda,
Oh, 100%.
or just the
But it's
one
four. Yeah, it's 4 episodes. They all drop on the same
drop
day.
on the
So
same day? Okay.
yeah, so it's gonna be easy
I
to
gotta
watch.
finish watching Wednesday. I started it tonight.
Oh, Wednesday
you,
was
you,
fire.
You saw
you
the
know what
last
we
three
need to do?
episodes?
What's
You know
that?
what?
You saw the last three episodes, Mazda?
I did. It's fire.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's fire.
What we need to do is finally convince Danny to watch Stranger Things, and then we do a roundtable for the final
No,
season.
no, sir, that ain't happening.
Oh, you haven't watched
Come on.
Stranger Things, Danny?
Uh-uh.
Yo, Stranger Things is fire, bro.
It
You
is.
said
It's
crap.
really
I
good.
gotta go back. I said the same thing, man. And I went back and watched Games of Thrones. Said something else. It's too much time about something that's already done passed. I'm good. I missed the train. I missed the boat, and I'm
Gotcha.
perfectly fine with it.
But you went back and watched Game of Thrones, didn't you?
But yeah, it's about 6 or 7 years
Oh, okay.
because my wife only watched it like once every month. So I walk in the house. Oh, what are we watching now? My wife, then
Mm,
she does this. She jumps from Sex in the City, and she go to Stranger Things and watch that. Not Stranger Things, but Game of Thrones. Then she go to House of Dragon. We just finished watching Sons of Anarchy, so she jumps from show to show to show, and she jumps from the show. She watches about a month. So I really catch up with something. So I guess if she ever go to Stranger Things, I may watch it that way. But for me to sit down and delegate and designate time for it, that ain't happening.
I got you. I got you.
Now that don't take your word for it, but
No,
that's what three. What's that? 3 or 4 episodes? 3 or 4 seasons? No, it's too much time.
Yeah, and
yeah.
some of the later seasons, they're like 2-hour episodes.
Yeah, especially when I want to watch stuff like I watch the Jurassic thing again today. That's on streaming service.
Which one? Rebirth?
Yep,
That movie's so garbage, bro.
I just watch it again because the only part I like is the first part where the dinosaurs in the water.
Mm-hmm.
The other two, one they were trying to get at, I didn't care about it. But the one in the water, I thought that was fine.
I got you.
Other two, I don't care.
Yeah, there's a documentary, and because my belly was hurting, like I said earlier, so I didn't really pay attention. I was kind of sleeping. But they have a documentary on the Katrina stuff, man. That was deep, bro.
I think my daughter was what about the Hurricane Katrina?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They got one with Dallas Cowboys too.
Yeah, then I didn't pop that one out yet. I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Good show, Alternator. We sure appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Oh, Anzo, you're where can they find you at,
Oh,
sir?
yeah, Bigger Ford Entertainment, do all the shows that I talked about earlier. So make sure to check us out. It's a great show, Austin. Thanks for having me.
No problem. No problem. All right, gentlemen. Like I said, you can find me everywhere. Everyone's links are in the description. We're ending it pretty well early-ish tonight. Not necessarily early, but not as long as it usually has been. So yeah, that I think that about wraps it up. So thank everybody for watching. We'll see you all next week. And this is the Osnator signing out.
Yes.
Later.